Board of Education for Wednesday, May 26th. And with that, I'll take a roll call. Member Espinosa?
Here.
Okay. Member Georgino?
Here.
Member Lynn?
Here.
I'm here, and Member Sneed?
Here.
Okay, so all board members are present and accounted for. Next item on our agenda is public comment on closed session action, agenda items, and we received no such requests. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and call for a motion to adjourn to closed session so that we can discuss personnel matters under Government Code 54957. May I have a motion and a second, please?
I'll make the motion.
Motion from Member Lynn and a second from Member Espinosa. I saw her hand go up. So I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Member Georgino?
Yes.
Member Lynn?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Member Sneed?
Yes.
And Member Espinosa?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion passes 5-0, and we are now in closed session. As soon as we hit join.
All right.
But I also want to say, in addition to
Eso sí queda.
is a guide.
Come on.
Students
Esa
who
es la
are
que me
studying
dijiste.
state clerkships, and that guide is called the
Somebody's not muted. It's talking.
That's me. Oops.
Hey, Mary.
Mary Saxon, that would be you. Hi, Dr. Fricker. Hi, Mr. Smith. It's me again.
Yeah, hi, Maria.
You're a frequent flyer.
You are just the superstar.
No, I actually do not like public speaking at all. It pains me to do this kind of stuff.
Oh, you do great.
Oh, gosh. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be right back.
We got about a few seconds left here.
Okay, I'm back.
Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
Hi.
Boy, that last minute's always the longest.
Okay, sorry about that. My grandson keeps calling me. Like he left 12 voice messages today.
Is that Aiden?
Yes, because he somehow knows how to call through the echo. And so he was calling and I was at work, distance on Wednesdays. And anyways, now I just gave him to Emily.
I show 7 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and call for motion to reconvene to open session. May I have a motion and a second, please? Motion by member Sneed, a second by member Lynn. And I'll go ahead and call for the vote. Member Espinosa?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Member Georgino?
Yes.
Member Sneed?
Yes.
And member Lynn?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We are on to item number 7, and just a quick announcement. It's pretty obvious we are being digitally recorded. And with that, we'll move on to the pledge, which will be led by member Espinosa tonight. Melissa?
All right, let's please rise. Hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Thank you, Melissa. We are on to item number 9, announcement of actions taken in closed session. We have no announcements. We took no action. And so with that, we are on to special recognition, and we are recognizing our current, soon to be former student board member, and then the PTA scholarship award winners. And Kim, do you want to do this? You want me to do it, or how?
You can do it. You're on. You got it.
Okay. Well, Nicole, it was a strange year, I know, but we were very pleased to have you at our meetings, and your participation was great. You're always here on time, and thank you so much for that. I know you're a junior and you're going to be back at the high school next year as a senior. We wish you a great year next year, and hopefully it'll be a lot smoother ride than it was this year. And we also were very pleased to give you a thank you card, which I know Marie gave to you think Monday afternoon or Tuesday. But thank you so much. And I will say some welcoming words for Kiana in a little while. Does anybody else want to jump in and say anything?
I wanted to just thank Nicole as well for her service and for representing the students and always giving us the students' perspective. We appreciate it. I'm sure it wasn't the year you expected, but I'm hoping you have a wonderful senior year and hope to see you around on campus next year.
Okay. Oh, Donna? No, I see hands going up now. Donna.
Well, yeah, I'd like to thank Nicole too. I got to work with her for a half a year as board president, work closely with her, and I really enjoyed it. But I did have a question because I thought her term ended at the end of June.
Technically, it does. Traditionally, well, actually, usually they're going away to school and whatnot, but technically it does, but it's traditionally not been held to the standard.
Because we, if you recall, last summer, we asked Nicole to get input on the student board members when their term should end and start. And I don't want to speak for you, Nicole, but you did say that the students thought that it should go through the summer.
Yes, I believe I did say that, but I think we were talking about the July month because this past year I was able to take July off and I didn't come to the meetings. So I believe this time Kiana would have to go through the meetings all through July into August.
So is that what we're going to do? Were you planning to come join our meetings in June?
I thought I was supposed to, but that was before I realized that this was like the transition sort of meeting. So I believe that it would be turned over to Kiana in June.
Kiana, are you okay with that?
Well,
Yes, of
whatever
course.
we do, I think it should match our board bylaws.
And I don't know what's in the bylaws, to be honest on it.
It says July through June.
Okay. So, but
I'd love to see Nicole a couple more times, so.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's important to recognize Nicole. I mean, it's been a very unusual year, right? And I mean, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize Nicole. I could recognize her again, you know, in July or June. But certainly Nicole deserves a round of applause for her outstanding work, you know, providing the school board with not just her perspective, but the students' voice. And Nicole, next year, of course, you know, I hope you consider putting this experience on your college application and win some major scholarships.
Yeah, I didn't get to work with you quite as long, Nicole, but I really enjoyed hearing your input and the students' input. You were a great representative of your fellow students from the high school, and you had it. I know you have a real passion for what you do, and that's going to take you very far in life. So thank you so much for being an excellent representative for the students in Temple City.
very good. Okay. Well, with that, we'll move on to PTA scholarships. Maria Garner is going to present 10 students who are going to receive a $500 scholarship from PTA. So, Maria, you're on.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's me again, Maria Garner. Thank you for allowing us to be here to present tonight. First, I'd like to introduce our PTA Scholarship Committee. We have Mary Saxon, Dawn Duhamel. I don't think she could make it tonight. She had some kind of emergency, but she sends her regards. And there's Cynthia Mendoza and myself. We were able to meet Friday, May 14th to review all the student applications. We are pleased to announce that we have been able to offer $500 to 10 outstanding students. I believe this is our 4th year offering scholarships to our graduating seniors, and this would not be possible without the generous support of our community businesses, organizations, and individual members and families in our community. I would like to publicly acknowledge and sincerely thank our generous donors. And I think Mary's going to read off our thank you list from all of our donors. Mary?
Yes. So community businesses and organizations, there's a couple names I might not pronounce correctly, so please forgive me in advance. So there's Stubby's Promotions, Darren Stubbs, Mike Kawachichi from Modern Lighting. No, excuse me, Modern Lighting. It might be Kawazici. In Italian, the CICI is pronounced chi, so that's why I pronounced it that way. Anyways, I'm sorry. But Mike from Modern Lighting, the Arcadia Association of Realtors, Foothill Credit Union, Temple City Camellia Festival, LAD Family Dentistry, Sanjay Ladd. Oh, so I think it's Ladd Family Dentistry, Thai K Mao DDS Incorporated, Emperor Elementary PTA, Temple City Council PTA. Those are our community business organization sponsors. Now we also have some community members and parents who contributed. And they are Katie Chang, Melissa Espinoza, a Board of Education member, the Garner family, Dennis McNulty, Krishna Rios, Zai Dong Zhang, Wendy Dang, Donna Giorgino, Board of Education member, Linda Law, Kathy Perini, and Henry Yip. That concludes my presentation of the sponsors.
Thank you, Mary. And
You're
again,
welcome.
we thank our sponsors because we could not do this without them. The student applications that we received were quite frankly just excellent. They exemplified many aspects of what we were looking for in terms of their volunteer experiences in our community. And in reviewing the applications, we not only look at their academic efforts and achievements, but what we also find compelling is that to us as an organization, as a PTA organization, is the students' desire to volunteer and serve their community. We believe in volunteering. They are able to connect with their community, learn compassion, empathy, and develop a desire to help and care for others, as well as leadership and other skills that will help them grow and develop character. It's also important to note that we were looking for and wanted to know how PTA has impacted their school experience. So I'm excited to introduce our scholarship recipients who I believe will go on to do amazing things and continue to volunteer and give back to their community. So I'm going to start off with, because I see a sea of faces here. I'm going to start off with Aiden Yoder. Aiden, if you can just tell us where you plan to go to school, what you plan to study, and just list a couple of your interests.
Hi everybody, my name is Aiden Yoder. I plan to attend Cal State Fullerton this fall to study business administration with a concentration in management. If you don't know me, you've probably heard my name out there being associated with racing, or like he's the race car driver or whatever. You've probably heard some of that. I'm currently racing for Porsche. I travel across the country pretty frequently to go to several different exotic locations. And outside of racing, I am the drum major of our band this year. I'm also our trombone section leader. I'm a peer listener. I am a link leader. And so I find a lot of joy in community service and seeing and helping people grow.
Are there any questions for Aiden? Aiden, do you drive the actual Porsche cars?
I do. I drive a Porsche GT4.
Wow, okay. How fast does that go?
So the fastest I have gone to date is 145 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
I think that at my next trip, we might get above 150, just barely.
Wow. Are you like all strapped in there? Your head doesn't move at all, or like nothing moves?
Yeah, it's very, very tight in there. It's a very, very tight seat with a lot of padding, and it's like a 6-point harness. So I have belts coming over both shoulders and belts and going like all over my hips and everything. So I'm super locked in there. And all my gear is fireproof too. So We do everything possible to keep us as safe as we can.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Aiden. I have Jacob Sue next. Jacob.
Hi, my name is Jacob. I'm going to be going to Cal Poly Pomona for mechanical engineering. And a few of my interests are I'm a big runner, so I ran cross country and track here at the high school. And I also enjoy music, so playing things like guitar and piano.
Oh, wow. My son's going to be going for the cross country team, I guess. He's not a runner, but I guess he will be one soon. Thank you, Jacob. We'll have, let's see, Nathan Tran next. Nathan, where are you?
Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm going to go to the University of California, Los Angeles, studying physiological sciences. I'm a part of the robotics team where I drive the robot. So not as cool as driving a car, but driving a robot that we built over the school year. And then I'm also part of the soccer team where I'm the co-captain. I play volleyball, I'm the libero, and I really love being a part of ELD where I'm a mentor and I help recently immigrated peers learn English as a second language.
Nathan, do you teach the Python coding for the elementary school level kids?
I know our team does workshops for elementary school kids, but not myself. I don't do coding teaching.
Okay, I thought I saw your name somewhere. Thank you, Nathan. How about Alexa Espinoza?
Hi, my name is Alexa Espinoza. I'm going to be going to Berklee College of Music in Boston with a major in music education. Sorry, our dogs are barking. And a minor in classical voice. And I love singing, I love music. And I am the Brighter Side president this year. And so those are a couple of my interests. Everything music. I love doing all of that.
So for those who don't know, her whole family they're all musically inclined. Their dad plays the guitar amazingly well. I think the dad's brother too, and the nephew and your sister, everybody. So they're all musically very talented. Thank you, Alexa. We have Caitlin Rim next.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Caitlin Rim. I'm going to be attending UC San Diego this coming fall, majoring in education sciences because I want to become an elementary school teacher. A few of my interests include tennis. This year, I'm a part of the varsity tennis team at the high school, starting as a doubles starter. I have been in the school district's orchestra program since the 4th grade. I love volunteering. I've been in the Huntington volunteer program this past school year, and it's kind of different because usually you would volunteer in person, but it's all remote this year. And I think that's basically it.
Caitlin, will you be coming back to teach in our school district after you get your degree?
I really hope so. That's what I included in my, 10-year, 20-year plan. I really want to come back to teach at Emperor.
Ms. Getty, there you go. Thank you, Caitlin. Next, we have Emily Kwok.
Hi, my name is Emily Kwok, and I will temporarily be attending UC Davis with a major in political science and emphasis in public service and civil rights. And some extracurriculars that I'm involved in at school include being a link leader, being a peer listener. I volunteer at a pet adoption agency in Pasadena to help animals get adopted. I'm the president of BDAC, which is the Body Image Eating Disorder Awareness Club. We started a podcast this year called the BU Podcast, and we just hit 13 countries. So I'm really happy about that. I am a Miss TC ambassador, and I'm on the Temple City Youth Committee. So those are some of my interests around school and concerning extracurriculars. And at home, I really like to play music and spend time with my dogs a lot and watch movies with my family.
That's wonderful. Great, great, Emily. Thank you so much. We have Diane Zhao.
Hi, my name is Diane, and I'll be going to UC Riverside for cell molecular and developmental biology. Some things I like to do, I love volunteering. Kind of one notable thing that I was able to do was be a part of the disaster team for the 2020 Rose Parade. So that was like a really nice experience. I'm also a part of the TCHS EOD mentors, peer listeners, and link crew at school.
Wow, we have a lot of great mentors and stuff. You guys are doing awesome things. Thank you so much, Diane. Louis Wong.
Hi, I'm Louis, and I will be attending the University of Southern California and majoring in biology. I hope to become a doctor one day, so I will be on the pre-med track. Some things that I'm involved in are I'm the drum captain of the Pride of Temple City Marching Band. I'm also an ELD mentor, and some places I volunteered at are the Huntington Memorial Hospital and the Dignity Hospital in downtown, as well as the Union Mission, which is a homeless shelter on Skid Row.
Wow. So do you want to be a doctor, did you say? Or
Yeah.
going to, what kind of doctor?
I'm interested in ophthalmology, which is eye doctor.
I'm gonna go see you. My eyes are getting really, really bad. I was just talking to my husband the other day that I need to get an appointment in. Oh, okay. Thank you, Louis.
Yeah, thank you.
We have Nathaniel Tam.
Hi, I'm Nathaniel. I'm going to be going to Pepperdine University in the fall. I plan on being a part of their 5-year MBA program. A few of the things I enjoy, I really like basketball. I was a varsity player for 2 years and a practice player for another year. Another thing I just like learning. I'm self-learning Korean right now. So that's pretty interesting. It's pretty hard, but I enjoy it.
Thank you, Nathaniel. We have a lot of brainiacs in here and a lot of athletes and a lot of volunteer. You can see now why these kids, these students received the scholarship award. I'm very, very proud of them. Good job, you guys. And Nicholas Wong could not make it tonight, so he sends his regrets and regards and apologizes. But that's all for our presentation, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Congratulations to all the kids. That's a great job. It really is pretty neat. Okay, with that, we're going to move on to item 11, public comment on agendized and non-agendized items. I do have one comment in it. It's anonymous, but I'm going to go ahead and read it anyway. It says, I would like to speak about recent board conversations regarding the facility use tiers and prices. I am a TCHS alumni and the proud parent of a TCHS student. I heard and understood Board Member Georgino, Board Member Espinoza, and Board Member Smith's comments about massaging the tiers and allowing certain groups, PTA, Ramrodders, the city, Little League, etc., to use TCUSD facilities for free. First, I understand that these groups help our students and mean well. However, allowing some to use facilities for free and having others pay is not equitable, no matter how you slice it. And with all the recent events and talks about equity, I can't believe board members would now choose to follow their own agendas. For example, even though these groups support some students of our district, they do not support all students. Not one of these groups supports all of our students equally. It is known that there is a huge amount of PTA and other funds that go directly to the arts program so that the high school can put on an elaborate musical at the Playhouse every year. For example, let's say you allow Little League to use the field at Longden for free. The district still needs to pay for custodial staff overtime if after hours. And the custodial staff pay comes out of the district funds, not funds put aside for a sports program. So in essence, you are using funds that should benefit all students to benefit a small group of students who play baseball. How is that fair? I'm not trying to pick on Little League. This can be said about all groups that want free use of the facilities. I believe everyone who uses a TCUSD facility should pay to use them if it isn't a school-sponsored event. The district should not lose money because you want your favorite to be comped. Once you make an exception for one, others will follow. I understand historically these groups have not been charged, but that doesn't make it right or legal or mean it should continue. It's time to see the bigger picture and have equity for all and put the district first, not these groups. I believe many of the programs at TCUSD are skewed to benefit select groups, and it appears Dr. Fricker sees this as well and is attempting to correct the issue. Starting with facility use fees should be the easiest way, but it appears the board does not have the interest of all students in mind. So that's the letter. Moving on to item 12, community updates. I do have a few things I want to announce or reemphasize. And the first is that Pep Squad is having a dine out fundraiser at Beeman's on June 3rd. It will run from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. So if you're hungry during that time on the 3rd, Pep Squad would appreciate support by going to Beeman's and purchasing your dinner. I did want to announce that we are tentatively planning our first face-to-face board meeting in July, and the date of that meeting would be the 28th. That's our only meeting in July. But what that will look like in terms of audience in the boardroom will depend on what the rules are at the time. But that's the intent anyway. I do want to share a couple things. Last meeting, the announcement was made about the promotion and graduation ceremonies, and all the promotion ceremonies will be held at Temple City High School this year, with the graduation ceremony being held at Santa Anita. And the date of those ceremonies are Longden Elementary at 9 o'clock on June 8th, Oak Avenue Intermediate 6 p.m. on June 8th also. Emperor Elementary, Wednesday, June 9th at 9 a.m. Cloverly Elementary, Thursday, June 10th at 9 a.m. and at Temple City High School, Thursday, June 10th at 7 p.m. And again, that's at Santa Anita Park. I also wanted to take a moment and recognize some successes. There was recently a 2021 Physics Bowl competition, and congratulations go out to Ethan Lee, who was the 5th highest Division I participant internationally. The average score for these events is about 16 points, and there's a total of 40 that can be scored, and Ethan got 37 out of 40, so he did a fantastic job. Our Division I team also placed 2nd in all of Southern California. There were over 5,800 students who participated in this Physics Bowl, so competition was tough and the kids did well. I also wanted to share congratulations with Kai Hirayama. He is the league champion for Rio Hondo Golf. He beat 27 other golfers from the league with a 500 par victory, and we'll be moving on to the CIF playoffs. And that's all I have in the way of community updates. Okay, with that, we are on to district updates, and we'll be starting first with Dr. Mercedes Gomez, who's going to tell us about business and educational services. Mercedes, what do you have for us?
Yes, thank you. We've actually been quite busy in business. So we've got negotiations that Ms. Getty mentioned last board meeting that have wrapped up. And so with that, Alexa has been calculating all of the worksheets required with AB 1200. We've now submitted those to LACO. And so we're also working on calculating the latest updates from the May revise, which was just at the end of last week, into the budget for this next upcoming school year 21-22. And then I also wanted to take a minute to just recognize everyone in fiscal services on our team led by Alexa. So in payroll, Lisa has been working hard to get all of the in-person instruction extra hours in on time for our teachers to get paid those timesheets. And then Yvonne has also been working at managing all of the extra work that COVID has created for payroll. We have Michelle that has been proactive in getting everything ready for year-end closing processes, including marking items for accrual and going through open POs to see if we have any outstanding services or deliveries. Hun is beginning to work on getting us ready for the GASB 84 implementation for our ASBs. And we also have our most recent member of the team, Jocelyn, who has been doing a fabulous job picking up on everything, and we are so thrilled to have her. And then switching gears to Ed Services, we have Sandy has been working hard at wrapping up everything related to LCAP, including all of the various different components during this off year. As a matter of fact, she's actually going to be presenting a little later on in the meeting on the annual update for last year for the 1920 LCAP, so actually 2 years ago, in the 2021 Learning Continuity and Attendance Plan. And then we're also working on implementing the latest information from last week's May revise into the budget overview for parents for the new upcoming LCAP 21-22. And then as we've just wrapped up testing, we're beginning to review that data to identify trends and then any potential learning loss that may have occurred with our students. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mercedes. With that, we're moving on to personnel and student services update and a technology update, all from Assistant Superintendent Hannah Getty. Hannah, what do you have for us?
Good evening. Thank you. First, from the personnel aspect, I'd like to recognize Principal Jason Rose at La Rosa. You may no longer call him Mr. Rose. He is now Dr. Rose, and we're very proud of him. He worked very hard to do that, and he did a great job. So with that, we are working very hard in personnel to staff summer school. It is a tricky puzzle, one of the hardest puzzles ever. And so all of our teams are working diligently to get it staffed so that we can get all of our kiddos in that want to take summer school. Then also, we have decided in collaboration with our union partners and union leaderships, all three unions agreed that this year, instead of doing a Teacher of the Year or an Employee of the Year celebration, we're going to go ahead and recognize everyone. And we're going to try to do that by giving everybody an opportunity to submit comments about their fellow colleagues who has maybe supported them during this time or recognize some of the hard work that everybody has done. We know in working in isolation this past year, it'd be really hard to single out, just one employee or one teacher. With that, that also gives us an opportunity to let Mr. Kyle Smith submit his application to LACO, which he wasn't able to do last year because of missing a deadline with COVID and everything going on. So we're excited to let him to be able to move forward and do that. CDE has not given their deadline on all of their information yet, though, so we're still awaiting that. In student services, we are collecting information from our families regarding summer school, and it's been very interesting, and a lot of families are really curious on what they can do to help support their students. So we're working with them. We'll be offering them some Canvas courses that they can do at home and not have to come on campus, and I can thank Scott and Amy for that. They've worked really, really hard, our Innovation TOSAs, to get those ready for them. And then in technology, we're just working on how we're going to get set up for next year. We have a lot of cool things to push out to our devices for our kids next year. I'm really excited that we're making these advancements. So we're looking forward to that. And then we have some Canvas training for our teachers this summer as well, if they're interested. So that's all. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Hannah. With that, we're going to move on to item 14, bargaining unit comments. And we'll start with TCEA and Kyla Yurtstadt. Kyla, what do you have for us?
Hi, nice to see you all tonight. I don't have anything, but good to see you.
Okay, super. Thank you. And then we'll move on now to CSEA 105. Robin Penn, I saw you out there. There you are. Anything?
I don't have anything tonight. Just, hang in there, everybody. We're almost there. We're almost there to summer school, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, and then we'll move on to CSEA 823, Art Contreras. Art, what do you have for us?
Good evening, everybody. I'm with the two others. I don't have nothing. I think we're exhausted at this point, and we do have a lot more work to do coming up. So take a little rest, and we'll get back to business. Have a good board meeting.
Thank you, Art. I appreciate that. And yeah, that finish line can't get here fast enough, I don't think. With that, we are going to move on to board member comments, and we're going to start first with Dr. Michael Lynn. Mike, what do you have for us?
Thank you, President Smith. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the PTA for your scholarship endowment by partnering with so many generous local businesses, community organizations, and individual donors and sponsors. Congratulations to our outstanding students receiving a PTA scholarship. We're so proud of your academic achievements and desire to volunteer and serve. Most importantly, through your compassion and empathy. I would like to thank Nicole Love for your ongoing service on the board. Also welcome Kianan Lee to our school board meetings at this point. To observe how these meetings take place while Nicole finishes her term. Next, I would like to share that I attended the School Services of California workshop last week on the Governor's May revise. There's talk about a mega cola. This is like supersizing, a fast food chain or something. A mega cola which stands for the cost of living adjustment, with the recommendation from School Services of California to use this cost of living adjustment to cover the costs associated with servicing employee salary schedules, increases to the employer's health benefit contributions, pension costs, and step and column increases, as well as the cost pressures coming from declining enrollment and unemployment rate increases. But overall, it sounded like the message from the governor is very positive in terms of how school funding for the next school year is going to be. And that is it for me. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Mike. I'm going to go ahead and go next. You covered pretty much most of my items. I wanted to thank Nicole and also welcome Kiana as we move forward in the transition. I wanted to mention that I attended the School Services California May Revise workshop too, and after 3 hours of listening to them, I kind of my head was a little bit spinning. It's complicated this year, so I hope that becomes clear as time goes on. I do appreciate getting all the links to the different open houses. I've seen Emperor's, Longdon's, Oaks in the high school. I know La Rosa is being opened up tomorrow, and we also got one this afternoon from Cloverleaf, but I haven't had a chance to look at those yet. And I also know that this past weekend, there was an event at the high school, Prom on Your Own, and I thought that was a creative idea. I don't know where it came from or who thought it up, but it looked like it was a fun event to attend. So that was neat that we were able to do some of the quasi-normal things for our graduates and whatnot. And with that, I'm going to move on to Mary Sneed. Mary, what do you have for us?
Okay, thank you. First, I also wanted to congratulate our two student athletes, Sarah Martinez, who is a four-year varsity soccer player, who's the 2020 MVP of the Rio Hondo League. And along with you, Kai Hirayama, who is the Rio Hondo League champ in golf. I don't know a lot about golf, but I applaud how well he did. Congratulations also to all the PTA scholarship winners. It's amazing that even with a pandemic, PTA shows so much support for the students, awarding a nice size scholarship. And I hope all the student winners, I know they're going to go on and make Temple City proud with where they're going. You mentioned the Physics Bowl winners. So I just wanted to mention, since you mentioned how they placed, I would like to mention the team members. We had 9 high school students compete in the Physics Bowl and Division I, Ethan Liu, David Zhang, Easton Huang, Harrison Zhang, Wilson Hu, and Ryan Wong. And in Division II, Jenny Chen, Tuan Nguyen, and Isabel Lee. So congratulations to those students for doing so well. And thank you for representing the high school so beautifully. The Longdon Science Olympiad also placed in the gold, which is the highest bracket in their virtual competition. So congratulations to the students and their advisors, Mrs. Shea and Mrs. Chang. I enjoyed all the virtual open houses. I know from experience that open house is like the culmination and the fun part of ending the year, but I was really blown away by the work that the students produced. And I really appreciated the varied ways that the different schools were able to present the work. And it looked like the kids were having fun. And hopefully next year we'll all be enjoying open house in person. So nice job to all the schools. Last Friday night, I enjoyed the 2021 Color Guard show, I See the Light. It was really a very enjoyable way to spend the evening. And we just have such talented students and staff in this district. So I want to thank all those who pulled that together. I know I've heard from a lot of families that are very, very excited about graduation. And I know Temple City is once again Temple City can always be counted on to do something special for the kids. And this year is no exception. I also attended the webinar on the governor's May revise last week. It was a lot of time on online last week. It does sound very positive, and hopefully it's going to be more fun for our district, and we'll see how things shake out, but it sounds very positive right now. And Friday and Saturday, I spent my last 8 hours online. I am now a MEG alumni.
We can't see it though. It didn't show up.
Oh, can you see it now in front of my face? Well, believe me, there's a certificate there.
It blends into the background.
Anyway, there's a certificate there, believe me.
Congratulations.
But I really appreciate all the classes were really excellent, and they've really helped me so much in these first months on the board. I appreciate the district sending me for that training, and I'm very excited to be a MEG alumni now. So to join the board as MEG alumni. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary. With that, we're going to move on to Member Espinoza. Melissa, what do you have?
Good evening, everybody. I wanted just to start by saying that I hope that the classified staff had a wonderful Staff Appreciation Week. I want to thank all of them again for all the work that they've done to support our students and our families in our district. In terms of attendance, I attended the first round CIF playoffs for the boys varsity soccer, and they won against Los Altos, and it was a great game. I also attended the varsity boys baseball game, and they won against San Marino, and that was really a great game. I was told that there's a girls softball game this Friday, so I will plan to attend that and cheer that team on. Today, I passed through the senior swag pickup, and I really enjoyed, and it warmed my heart to see, celebrating the seniors, and thank you to all the volunteers and the administration and the staff who worked to put that together. I also attended the LACSTA election meeting on May 24th, and I wanted to congratulate Dr. Lynn, who was elected to be the secretary on the LACSTA board. So congratulations, Dr. Lynn. I attended the dine out yesterday at Chick-fil-A for Ramrodders, and I hope they did well. And I also attended the TC Council PTA final meeting. And so that's all I attended. And then we get into just, the open house videos. I really enjoyed them. I want to thank all the teachers and the site administrators and any of the site team members that helped produce those videos and the slideshow and the cool Bitmoji maps with the videos embedded in them. It was really great and wonderful to see all of the work that we did in our district to support our students. And I also want to thank PTA for honoring students with scholarships. We have the best PTA around, and I'm touched by their commitment and support for our students, even beyond 12th grade. So it's much appreciated. Thank you so much, PTA. And then lastly, I want to congratulate the high school graphics team and their program leader on making the top 5 in the Vans design competition. Oh, yeah. They won $15,000, and they're now ranked. They're going to find out what the top 5 ranking is, the order of it, and they could actually win more. And I think it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful award, and I really look forward to what they can build and how they can grow their program even more. So that's all for me tonight. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you, Melissa. And then with that, we'll move on to Member Georgino. Donna, what do you have?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate all the amazing students that received scholarships. We have such outstanding students. It's really inspiring to listen to them. So congratulations to all of them. I also participated in the governor's revised budget webinar. And one of my takeaways from that was, and I think somebody else mentioned it, how complicated it is, all the different funding sources and deadlines and audits and restrictions. And so I want to compliment our staff on being able to navigate through all of that and keep it all straight and bring as much money as possible to our district. So thank you for that. So far it's looking more positive than it has in past years. We'll find out what the state legislature does, hopefully by the end of June, and then we'll know what we have to work with. I also want to congratulate the graphics department for being in the top 5 in the band's custom culture contest. And I'll just add, tomorrow at 11 o'clock, if you log on to customculture.bands.com, they're going to make the announcement of who gets the $50,000. So I will be there on my computer with my fingers crossed. Let's see. I've been watching the open houses, and they're very enjoyable. And one of the things that struck me is how creative our teachers have been during this past year, and being able to provide interesting instruction to our students. Many times I thought to myself, if I didn't see a bed or a couch in the background, I would think that was some project that they actually did in person at school. So congratulations to all our teachers, and thank you for everything you've done this past year. I know it's been difficult, but really stood out and did a great job. And let's see, finally, I just want to mention that I also went to the Chick-fil-A fundraiser for Ramrodders, and I hope they made lots of money. So that's all I have for tonight.
Great, thank you, Donna. And just one do-over on my part, I completely skipped over recognizing PTA for the scholarships that they provided the kids. That was 10 kids got $500 each. That's $5,000 in scholarships. That's fabulous. And we owe a debt of thanks to PTA for raising the money and recognizing our students. So thank you. Okay, with that, we are going to move on to the student board member comments. Nicole, what do you have for us?
So I wanted to start off by thanking everyone for the card I received when going to get my plaque. I thought it was really nice just reading all of your kind words. It made me smile for like the rest of the day. I wanted to say that you guys, just working with you guys this year was so amazing. I remember coming in first being really nervous and scared, but you guys have just like such a welcoming community here that after like my first meeting, I was just ready to work and I wasn't scared anymore. So I want to thank you guys for that. And I also wanted to tell Kiana that she has no reason to be scared as well. Like, don't be afraid to speak up for anything. They're nice. I wanted to also say that this is probably one of the best like experiences of my whole like high school career. I've learned so much more than I thought I would. It was really nice to see Miss Montero in person, and I really hope to see you guys in person too one day, hopefully. I also just wanted to let Kiana make a little introduction for herself if she'd like to speak up.
Thanks, Nicole. Good evening, everyone. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me here today. I know Nicole really spoke to me when she says, don't be nervous. And I just wanted to introduce myself as well. My name is Kiana, and I'm so honored to be your incoming Board of Education representative for our students at the Temple City Unified School District. And I'm an incoming junior this year at the TCUSD. And I just want to say thank you so much for all your support and time.
So more comments on Kiana. I would say that she's one of the most hardworking people I know. So I know that you guys will have a great upcoming year. I also wanted to apologize about the miscommunication about whether this would be my last meeting or not. I believe I heard from my ASB advisor that it would be, but also I wouldn't mind seeing you guys for another month. You know, I would miss you guys, but yeah, so that's mostly what I have for today. For general comments, I wanted to applaud the communication going on between staff and students when it comes to the emails, because I've heard a lot recently, especially taking my AP exams. I loved the constant reminders of make sure to check into the AP exam, make sure to download the application, everything like that. And just like all those things for like summer school signups and everything. I love the constant reminder, and I know that it's helped so many of my peers remember to get all their things done. So that's it for my general comments. And I want to say that, again, it was really great working with everyone.
Well, thank you, Nicole. It's been our pleasure to have you join us, and it looks like we get at least 2 more meetings out of you before it's completely done. And I do want to again welcome Kiana, and we'll look forward to your participation as we go forward. And so with that, we are going to move on to superintendent comments. Dr. Kimberly Fricker. Kim, what do you have for us?
Thank you, President Smith. So first of all, I just want to say welcome, Kiana, and we look forward to working with you. I know that you'll be a great addition to our board, and just getting to know all of the ins and outs of the district throughout the year. Do not feel hesitant at all to ask questions. We're always happy to help you. I also want to say thank you to Nicole. I know that we have a couple board meetings with you, but you have just been a pleasure and a delight to work with. And I want to wish you well next year. And then wherever you go after that, stay in touch with us because we will surely stay in touch with you. So thank you for your service. I cannot believe that the end of the school year is coming so quickly. I want to just thank all of the administrators, all of the support staff, all of the teachers out there who have done such an amazing job planning and preparing for the end of school. All of those celebrations, all of those end of school activities, trying to make that as normal as possible for all of our students, and embrace the end of the year and then send everybody off into the summer months. So thank you for all the work that you have done and are continuing to do to make all of that happen. To the seniors, I know that the end is coming quicker than you think. And with that comes a lot of just different emotions and excitement. And we are so excited for the senior class in the class of 2021. You are truly a special class at Temple City. We are extremely proud of all of your efforts. Just a little bit of a push to the finish line and you will succeed in high society and high style. So we look forward to seeing you round out the year and then walking across that stage and then moving on to your next endeavor. So we all wish you the very, very best. I did also attend the School Services of California, the Governor's May Revised meeting. And yes, I just want to just shout out to the business department for taking all of that complex information, making sure we hit all of those deadlines, apply for all of the funding that we should be awarded, and then making sure that it all happens for us. It does take a lot of effort on a very few people, and the business department does carry the lion's share of that work. But we do appreciate the leadership and the hard work from all of our administrators and our support staff who make that all happen. I do want to thank the PTA just for honoring both the certificated and the classified celebration weeks and the lunches that you provided the staff. They were extremely good. Everyone raved about them. And it was very, very generous of you and very thoughtful of you to think of all of us and kind of bring a bright spot to our day at the end of the school year. So thank you, PTA, for all that you do, the awards, plus all that you do in thinking of our staff here at Temple City. You are just a shining beacon to us. So, and then finally, on the gearing up for next year front, we as an administration, we do go on a leadership retreat where we do start our focuses for the upcoming school year. We do have the summer school program that was previously mentioned, and then we have the opening of school to prepare for. So our summer does include a lot of developing and making of those plans. And I look forward to that leadership summit with my team so that we can put the best laid plans forward and to start opening the school year. So thank you. And that is it for me.
Great, thank you, Kim. With that, we're moving on to item 18, written communications. I don't have anything to share. Do any of the board members have anything? Okay, I don't see any. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to the discussion information portion of our agenda, starting first with administration and the facility use fee agreement process presentation. And this will be a brief recap of what we saw at the previous meeting. Kim?
Let me pull it up. Okay, so this is just a brief recap of the presentation that we saw before with a bit of additional explanation a bit of the way through. So facility use is something that school districts are able to provide. In fact, under the Civics Act, we are a civics center and we do have to provide fair use and to the public through a system which we currently do use, and that's been in existence for quite some time. It has changed over the years. Assembly Bill 1303 is the major guiding legislation that oversees facility use, and it really determines or dictates what school districts can actually charge for the use of their facility. There's two categories underneath Assembly Bill 1303. One would be the direct costs, and those are just the actual costs that the district would incur for the facility. And then there's a fair rental value, which is a higher cost. It includes the direct cost plus an amortization of like repair over time or replacement over time. So the Assembly Bill does kind of outline for school districts what we can in fact charge for. The current governance structure that we are under Temple City is really our Temple City board policy. Our board policy 1303 does outline a free category, which CSBA does condone, and those are for school-sponsored activities, and that's or school-sponsored groups, and that is the way it's written in our current board policy. It also then goes and includes that Assembly Bill language for nonprofit organizations or those direct cost users. Some of those activities would be activities like youth sports leagues, PTAs, organizations that have a 501(c)(3), they're charitable organizations, and so we want to give them a reduction in price because their work is going towards a greater good, a greater goal. So the third tier is just for for-profit organizations, and that would be the fair rental use group, and they would be charged the full rental fee. If the board wants to look at the groups and categories, they can do that. We would have to amend the actual board policy and go through the procedures to do that moving forward. But the board policy is stating. Again, just to recap the facility use process, we do start off with the facility use form. Whether you are in any of the categories, starting off with the facility form is essential so that you can actually get into the calendarized system and lock in that facility so that there's not two users using the same facility at the same time. We want to avoid any conflict. For anybody who does use the facility in any of the categories, they do have to have a copy of insurance and liability coverage. A $1 million insurance and liability coverage policy is required.
You're cutting out, Kim.
Some general, oh, I'm so sorry. They are given some general guidelines and rules for using the facilities. Then what we would like to include in our, we have board policy, but we also have administrative regulations. And what we would like to include in administrative regulations is just an outline of how we would prioritize the facility use applications that come in. The first being district activities, meaning the activities that the district would want to use its own facilities for. The student body activities, meaning that students who would want to use the facility in different ways or host events, they would have access. Third would be that nonprofit organizational activities, making sure that our nonprofit groups around our community have access, and then community activities, and then for-profit businesses or for-profit activities. So that would be the suggested, I know that is one of the approval items later on in the agenda. That is one of the suggested priority lists so that we make sure that our students are serviced first and their needs are serviced first. And then we go down the line to fairly approve the applications as they come in. Just to go over the calculations for direct costs. The direct cost users would just be the shared cost of supplies, utilities, janitorial services, cost of maintenance, repair, restorations. It's the normal average cost that would go into the owning and operation of a facility. And then the fair rental costs include the direct cost plus the amortized cost for replacement. And that's where you get the two different costs. Again, we did a facility fee study outside of the district, but then we also kind of did another one within the school district, and we just pulled several different school districts in our surrounding area to make sure that the costs that would be proposed in those two categories would be both welcoming to our community members who want to use our facility, but also, cover some of the costs that we, the district, bear with our facilities. So we wanted to make sure that they were low enough to welcome use, and that was important to us. Here we have, and in the agenda report, you see the outline of what the facility use fee schedule would be for the direct cost user and the fair rental user, with the facility on the left-hand side of what you could potentially rent. There are a couple of items where we left it to be determined, and one of them were the kitchens. And just because of the COVID situation, we want to really rethink if we are going to rent out the kitchens or not. Some districts do, some districts don't, but there's a lot of equipment and liability associated with the kitchen. And so we want to just have that to be determined. We want to have flexibility in renting it out, but we don't necessarily, we're not ready to rent it out at this time. The other thing would be filming our leases. Many times, because we sit where we do in LA County, we do have opportunities for filming crews to come out and rent the facility in order to complete a production. So we do leave that as to be determined by the project type, and it depends on how extensive of that facility they need in order to do whatever project they're working on. And it's so independent that it's really hard to place a price on it up front. So one of the administrators who work with those film agencies negotiate whatever that project is. So that's why there's a to be determined there. And then finally, you see operational services, direct costs, and those would be services in addition that the users need in addition to just the facility. Some of those things may include administration, custodians, maintenance, grounds, some technology assistance if available, kitchen assistant. Again, if we were to rent out a kitchen, that would be accompanied by our staff operating that, and that is at a to be determined nature. And then potential lifeguard for the pool, and then like the PA system, public access system, or scoreboard, should that be needed. So those are just other services that someone can select. You don't have to select those if you are a facility user, but you can have those items at your disposal should you need them. With that, we looked at our history of facility use in Temple City going back to 2003. We had another iteration of facility use in 2016, and then here we are in 2020 looking at it again, and went out to a company to look at our facility use. And now in 2020-21, we did an internal study. And what we really wanted to do was make our costs as low as possible to welcome users to use our facility, but cover the cost that we would incur. We did go back to that 2016 value, and we did adjust up just for increased utility costs and costs of that nature. So these costs do reflect a similarity to the 2016 study that was conducted by the Delinka Group. And then finally, there's another category of facility use, and it's really joint facility use agreements. And so these are agreements that actually two municipalities can come together and form an agreement between the two in a formalized nature to share or to exchange the communal property or space or resource. And so we have in the past had agreements with the city of Temple City. We only have one. We've had multiple in the past. We've only have one current, and the current joint use agreement with the city of Temple City is in regard to Milham Field. And in 2006, there was this agreement, an amendment that came together to put new or updated lighting in that field or around that stadium. And so in order to do that, the city agreed to pay for the lighting, and we agreed for them to allow groups to use that field. So that is the current joint use agreement. It does sunset or expire in 2024. And so we are currently in that agreement at this time. We are also working on solidifying a joint use agreement. We do have a standing committee meeting with the city to talk about items such as this. And then we also have informal meetings with the city planner and the city manager in order to devise an agreement for other city sponsored activities, much like the Camellia Festival, and places where we have a shared interest in an activity that goes on within the city of Temple City. So more information will be coming on that. So at this time, that is the end of the presentation portion. Do you have any questions for me? And then we're going to go to the 2 items for approval, and one is going to be the agreement, and the other one is the agreement on fees, and the other one would be the approval for the priority ranking.
Are there any comments or questions for Kim, or you want to hold off? I can't see everybody, but I don't hear anybody. Okay, there you are. Mary, you have a question.
Yes. Do all the nonprofits need to have the 501c? I think I asked this before, but do they need to have the 501c3 certification, I guess, in order to qualify for how they would rank in the rental? We have some nonprofits in Temple City that don't have that designation.
So for the nonprofit groups, they would have to have a 501c3 that is current and active, and those should be actually checked by the board and approved by the board annually. So this is approving this fee structure tonight will allow us then to develop a handbook to help those 501c3s navigate the other board policies that govern that process. So we are hoping that we are going to meet with those 501c organizations or booster club organizations. Some are or have been approved by the district, some haven't, some have 501c3s, some don't. And we actually have our director of risk management who will be helping them navigate that process so that eventually in that group, they will have those and they will be approved by the board. So that is yet to come in June and July.
And Kim, would that include 501c4s as well?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you. So with that, we are going to move on to Ed Services, and starting with item 20, which is an annual update of the 1920 Local Control and Accountability Plan, the LCAP, and the 2021 Learning Continuity and Attendance Plan presentation. I'm gathering that Sandy Dusong is going to be leading us in this. Sandy, are you?
Yes. Good
Okay,
evening,
perfect.
board members and Dr. Fricker. Tonight, I'm here to present the annual update for the 2019-2020 Local Control Accountability Plan, otherwise known as LCAP, and the 2020-2021 Learning Continuity and Attendance Plan update. As part of the development of the new 3-year 2021 to 2024 LCAP, LEAs must analyze and reflect upon student outcomes in both the 2019-2020 LCAP and the 2020 and 2021 Learning Continuity Plan. So this is our agenda today. We're going to go over the LCAP, the Learning Continuity Plan, and I'm going to share with you some top themes that will be added to the new LCAP plan. In June of 2020, Senate Bill 98 established that the Local Control Accountability Plan and the annual update to the 2019 LCAP was not required for the 2019-2020 school year. SB 98 also defined the 2020-2021 Learning Continuity and Attendance Plan requirements as a bridge document during the COVID school closure. The Learning Continuity Plan sought to address funding stability while providing information at the LEA level for how student learning would be addressed in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. So let me preface this by saying the goals that we're going to be looking at today to review are goals from the last 3 years, the past 3 years. That's 2017 to 2020 LCAP annual update. Much has changed. Let me preface it by saying that We have been under some incredible challenges this past 2 years. Since the last LCAP 2017-2020, there has been significant changes to the educational system. The distance learning due to the COVID-19 accelerated the technology integration. We had to think outside of the box in order to educate our students during the distance learning period. With Governor Newsom's executive order N-56-20 and SB 98, which allowed for the deadline for the LCAP to be extended, and the learning continuity plan was adopted, which acts as a temporary bridge document for our district. We had school closure, we had school reopening, we had to purchase PPEs, we had to wear masks, social distancing. These are all unfamiliar territories that we all went through. As apart from the COVID-19, the way in which we identified and assess and educate our English learner has also changed from the CELT system to the LPAC, English Language Proficiency Assessment for California. And of course, our template for the LCAP has developed over time. So let me take you back to 2017-2020. These 3 goals are what we are updating based on the 2019-2020. The goals were very, very simply written: basic needs, implementation of state standards, and course access, addressing states priority 1, 2, and 7. Goal 2, address the student achievement as well as other outcome, addressing states priority 4 and 8. And our goal 3 was parent involvement, student engagement, and school climate, addressing state priorities 3, 5, and 6. So let's go to goal 1, basic needs, implementation of state standards, and course access. Overall, the goal 1 has been met, except for a few sub-goals, which was not met. The annual measurable outcomes for teacher credentialing data, according to the CalPADS and SARC report, there were 16 teachers who were teaching outside of their subject area of competency. 2 teachers were teaching out without a full credential, and they were on the process of getting it. Now, mind you, these situations have already been corrected, and we look forward. In fact, under Dr. Getty and her staff at the Personnel Service Department, they have really worked diligently to review and monitor the credentialing so that situations like this do not occur again. Curriculum adoption for 2019-2020, TK 5th ELA and ELD curriculum was adopted and implemented in 2019 and 2020. As you recall, Oak and High School, Temple City High School, adopted their ELA and ELD this year, 2020, 2021. And that's why the sub-goals were not quite met. And in the new LCAP, the 3-year LCAP, we will be adopting the math curriculum for Oaks and High School. Goal 2. Temple City is an amazing district. As we have seen, students are amazing, and I am so proud to be a part of Temple City Unified School District family. Overall, our pupil achievement and other outcomes, the goal was met. But sub-goals, some of them were not, and I'm going to review them with you. For the according to 2019 California State Dashboard, ELA and math for all students category were at the highest performance band, level 5 or blue performance band for all students category for both ELA and math. In the subgroups, however, if you look a little bit deeper, our students with disability moved from orange level 2 to level 3, which is great, and kudos for them. And under Ms. Tamar, they've been working diligently to make sure that they are improving. improving. Hispanic students remained in the yellow level, level 3. In math, all subgroups were either in green and or blue performance band. Mind you, in the 2017, when the original 3-year LCAP was written, we were, as a district, in the green performance band. We have moved up to the highest band. iReady confirms it. The iReady diagnostic for winter 2020 for the predictive proficiency data report, 70% for our students received 70% proficiency rate for ELA and 71% for math. However, the goal was ELA 72%, which we did not meet, but we met the math goal. How about the college and career readiness indicator? It shows yellow performance band, and when we dug into the data, evidently there was a data entry error. Since then, it's been fixed that TCUSD is waiting for the California school dashboard to reflect a correction. And then, of course, the LPAC, our goal for the well-developed increased by 5% to 39.4%. Our actual growth was 38.9. The moderately developed is decreased by 7% from 30.4% to 23.36. Mind you, we have shifted from the CELT to a much rigorous system, the LPAC. That might be a contributing factor. Our AP exam increased by 1.75% and not the 2% as written in the goal for this period of time. And our goal for 3, parent involvement, student engagement, and the school climate, overall, the goal was met, but the sub goal were not met. 99% connectivity rate through our communication system, which includes Parent Square, Canvas Learning Management, and the school and district websites. Our LCAP, if you can take a look at the 2018, 2019, and 2020, 2021, our survey has doubled. Our absenteeism rate maintained a 0.3% from 4.6 in 2018, 2019 to 4.9 in 2019, 2020. Graduation rate for our students with disability was at 84.4%. The goal was 92% in 2019, 2020. And of course, the MTSS, the multi-tier system of support, was not fully and systematically implemented due to the COVID pandemic, which resulted in the school closure. What did we learn from the learning continuity plan? I'd like to highlight a few things that made in the transition from the in-person to a distance learning much smoother, and that's the Canvas learning management system. This system allowed for teachers and students and parents to access information in one place and learn about, and parents were able to access and learn about their child's education with ease. Canvas system allowed for quick and easy access for teaching and learning, which also contributes to the high rate of parent participation. TCUSD implemented a district-wide assessment process, which includes formative and summative assessment for reading and math to mitigate learning loss caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. With the passing of the Executive Order N5620 and Senate Bill 98, students did not take the Smarter Balance Assessment in 2019 and 2020, as you are already aware. In its place, iReady diagnostic assessment tool was used to measure learning loss for students from kinder through 8, and StudySync was used for students in 9th through 12th grades. In addition to the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the racial tension and protests that took place this year from all parts of society brought heightened awareness of the importance of social emotional learning and health. During distance learning, Fridays were reserved for social emotional learning, lessons created by our amazing counselors at each site. One-on-one counseling as well as small group sessions were available. The hiring of the program specialist equity outreach was also an action that we took as a district, as well as partnering with Care Solace, our community partner in counseling. TCUSD recognized the importance of social emotional health and has taken actionable steps to support social emotional health of our staff, students, and their families. And of course, the implementation of the MTSS multi-tiered system of support at each site, which will address the concerns of students academically and social emotionally. Due to the COVID-19, as I have shared a little while ago, the MTSS rollout has not been fully implemented. So this action and service will be added to the new 2021-2024 LCAP plan. So here are the 5 themes that emerged as we evaluated, reflected upon the 2 documents, the annual update and the learning continuity plan. These are the top themes that emerge as we reviewed these, as well as taken feedback from our constituents, and especially as we dialogued and collaborated with the LCAP stakeholder engagement groups. And just huge shout out for the LCAP stakeholder engagement groups. They were committed and they asked some incredible questions. The number 1 thing that emerged was the technology integration, which played an incredibly valuable part in teaching and learning during the distance learning. As we propel forward to a bright future, technology innovation will be a part of our district's future through professional development for teachers on increased knowledge of different types of programs that will support them, like the Universal Design for Learning and Canvas. The UDL, or the Universal Design for Learning, will benefit especially for our unduplicated students as our teachers plan and look for ways to differentiate instructions for our pupil groups. Number 2, social emotional learning will be a critical piece for our schools as we return to normacy. When our students and staff are healthy, everybody is healthy. Number 3, competitive district. To attract students to our district, which is already amazing. We need to offer innovative and creative programs and or opportunities for our students to engage in. This was what came forth during our stakeholder conversation and collaboration often. And so the competitive district, innovation and creativity is something that we need to look forward to. Number 4, systems. As a district, there has been a high turnover rate at the district level. Under the leadership of Dr. Fricker, the board and the executive cabinet, who, by the way, I've got to add, are probably the hardest working individuals I have ever met. And oh my gosh, I learned so much just being here, just observing these ladies do what they do every single day. Things are stabilizing. After a year or more of distance learning, it's time to strengthen the systems that are working well and reevaluate those systems that are not. Here is a couple of examples. The multi-tier system of support for students' academic and behavior support needs to be consistent from school to school at Temple City Unified School District. A systematic cycle of assessments that is consistent throughout the district, and restructuring the current system at the district level. And last but not least, we all know this, when we have buy-in and collaboration and receive feedback, we are able to make the best informed decision. So once again, I want to give a shout out to the stakeholder engagement committee meetings who have met with me consistently. And so as we move forward, these are the top themes that will be incorporated within the new 2021-2024 LCAP plan. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Sandy. Does we can so I can see everybody. Does anybody have any questions for Sandy? I can't. There we go. I don't see any questions. Okay, very good. Thank you, Sandy.
Yep.
Okay, with that, we're going to move on to item 21, which is a proposal for a new class sports medicine clinical practicum. And I believe Anthony Garcia will be presenting this. Am I correct?
Yes, I think Ms. Lee is here from the high school, as well as Mr. Lohman. And then the teacher of this wonderful, amazing program is Mr. Anthony Garcia.
All right, so I'd like to introduce one of our teachers. He's part of our CTE program, which stands for Career Technical Education. And so one of the pathways in that CTE program is sports medicine. And so currently we have sports medicine, then the kids move on to advanced sports medicine. And then that's what we're going to propose is a third level. And so I'm really happy that we have Anthony Garcia. He came to us from South Pasadena. And I think a lot of the South Pasadena alumni really miss him because they still like when South Pass comes to play at our games, they always come over and try to talk to Coach Garcia or Mr. Garcia. And so I know we have a really great thing. And so the other day, I think we played, I think it was South Pass. And so one of the kids needed to be taped up. And so Mr. Garcia was supervising one of our students and showing them how to do it correctly. Like this is hands-on. And so it's so great. And so he came, oh, it was San Marino. And he came up to me and he said, you guys have this program? This is amazing. And I said, isn't it? Okay, so I thought it was pretty cool. And it was San Marino talking. And I was like, wow, you guys have that like city college-like building in the front, but we have sports medicine. So with that, Anthony Garcia.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, I did come from South Pasadena High School, and I was actually a friend of the former principal, and she just made me a deal that I couldn't refuse. And so I came over to start a program here. And I got to tell you, the kids here are amazing. They really love the program sports medicine, and they really just bit into the whole topic of it. And I started working with some volunteer student trainers after school that decided that they wanted to learn more than just what I can do in the classroom. And this is where the whole idea began, because my students after school just became more and more inquisitive. And then we started Skills USA, which I'm the advisor for, and anything medical they love. So I want to start this and use this next class as the last class, the final class. Beginning sports medicine is first, followed by the advanced sports medicine. And then finally, my proposal is to have sports medicine clinical practicum, which will be the third class in order. And what it is that to give the kids a chance to use the knowledge that they have learned over the past 2 years of beginning sports medicine, advanced sports medicine, use it in a classroom type setting or a clinical type setting where they help to treat the injured athletes at Temple City High School under my supervision. Okay, they will not make any diagnoses, but they will learn how to recognize injuries, treat injuries, wrap injuries, perform basic treatments. The rigors of the class, the things that they will learn, I think are rigorous enough that we will easily get AG approved. There are other programs in the state of California for other high schools that have a similar program, but I think ours is set so that our kids can get a foothold. And maybe lean towards a medical profession. And I have a lot of kids that want to get into nursing, become physical therapists, athletic trainers as well. As for equipment needs, we have everything we need already. We have a great trainer's room. Last year, I mean, the year before last, we knocked down a wall and it's expanded double the size of the room. And in that room, we have all the equipment that we need already to do physical therapy, basic treatments, basic first aid. We have hospital grade ultrasound machines, therapeutic whirlpools, taping tables, hydroculators. We have everything we need for a small therapy or small clinic, which is a great learning facility for the kids. Because everybody that comes in, I explain all the injuries and what we need to do on a gradual scale, step 1, step 2, and on. So with the practicum, they will learn to acquire, they'll be empowered to learn, a lifelong learning. They acquire the necessary skills needed for direct entry into the global workforce or entry into junior college and college in the medical profession. They learn real life experiences as it occurs. Just some of the experiences that they have in the trainer's room. A working knowledge of human anatomy as it relates to sports injuries. Every injury that comes in, we break it down. We talk about the MOI, the mechanism of injury, how it occurs, why it occurred, what muscles are involved, what joints are involved. They will learn injury documentation following HIPAA guidelines. And to that respect, this is why we have sunglasses over the names. We're protecting the individuals that are treated there. I mean, those are individuals with treatments for HIPAA guideline correct, and we are not showing that. Kids will learn how to treat athletes. On the photo on the far right, one of my student trainers is helping another student do therapeutic exercise. Another one in the center is doing therapeutic exercises for an ankle. The ones on the left, ultrasound and ice bags. Again, I have to tell you, these photos were staged for your convenience to make it look good, make me look good. And then finally, emergency management. If you've attended our football games, you know that I run on the field whenever we have an injury. And there are some injuries that are very bad. I don't run on the field alone. I run on the field with student trainers behind me, and they don't participate in this, but they watch and they learn. Everything is a learning experience for them. Many of my students that want to take this class are the students that have competed in Skills USA in the medical field. These are your top students in this competition. And finally, the grades for them are going to be based on participation, a weekly journal, documentation of injuries and rehabilitation, written tests, and a study of injuries as they come in, how they break down what the physiology of the injury is, and they have to do a research paper on it. So that is my suggestion. This is what I would love to do for the kids. And that is my presentation. And again, for me, it would be the capstone, the capstone to the 3 classes.
Great, thank you, Anthony. It looks like a great suggestion, and we'll look forward to probably bringing it back at the next meeting. But does anybody have any questions for Anthony tonight? Donna?
I was wondering, how many students are in the sports medicine program right now?
You're talking beginning and advanced together? I have 2 beginning classes, and they're both at about 30, and an advanced class at about 26, and a 7th period advanced class at 15.
That's better.
Thank you.
So Donna, if I could jump in for a second, this is Mr. Lohman. This is Richard. I didn't mean to call myself Mr. Lohman in the third person. This is Richard. Anthony's classes could fill easily. We could fill multiple sections. We like to keep them around that 90 mark for the two intros and the advanced class. So the practicum which he's adding on would be a smaller number because of the hands-on nature of it, but it would really round out what Anthony does right now. So the numbers, they say one thing, but the reality is we could fill 10 sections of this class if we really needed to.
It looks like a great class. Any other, Mary?
Is there any way that this is phenomenal? Congratulations on your program. Is there any way that the students can get some kind of credits? I know you mentioned that they can feed into programs perhaps at junior colleges or wherever. Can they get credit that can move them into that?
If they're AG approved, they would get credits for Cal States and University of California. And I don't think we'll have a problem getting that.
Okay. Congratulations, this is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add that this ties beautifully to what Sandy was talking about earlier about MTSS and multiple ways of reaching kids. So congratulations, this is wonderful.
Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. We'll look forward to having you come back for approval on this. Okay, with that, we're going to move on to the discussion action portion of our agenda. We're going to start first with administration, which calls for a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2021-19, authorizing memberships in educational societies, associations, and organizations for the upcoming school year 21-22. And this is something that we routinely do this year, every year about this time. So may I have a motion and a second to approve, please? Donna, a motion, and Member Espinoza, a second. Are there any comments or questions? We have the information in our packet. I don't see any, so I will just go ahead and now I got to find my agenda. Go ahead and call for the vote. Member Georgino?
Nicole.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. Gosh, we invited her back to 2 more meetings and I gypped her. Nicole.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Member Georgino.
Yes.
Member Sneed.
Yes.
Member Lynn.
Yes.
Member Espinosa.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well, so it passes 5-0. Thank you. Now we are on to item number 23, which calls for a motion to receive board policies for first reading. These board policies include BP 0420.4, charter school authorization, BP 0420.41, charter school oversight, BP, which means board policy, by the way, 3452, student activity funds, BP 3600 consultants, and BP 5145 parent notifications. May I have a motion and a second to receive these board policies, please? Ooh, it was a 3-way tie. I think Melissa, we'll put you down for the motion and Mike down for the second. And are there any comments or questions about this? Okay, then I will go ahead and call for the vote. Student member Lee.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then member Lynn.
Yes.
Member Georgino.
Yes.
Member Espinosa.
Yes.
I'm a yes, and member Sneed.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. That motion carries 5-0. Thank you. We are now on to item 24. Oh, I thought I heard something. We're now on to item 24, which calls for a motion to receive board policies for second reading and approve. And these are board policy 0420.41, charter school renewal, BP 3110, transfer of funds, BP 3230, federal grant funds, BP 4157/4257/4357, employee safety, and BP 5113.1, chronic absence and truancy. May I have a motion and a second to approve, please? I think I saw Member Georgino come up with the motion, Member Sneed with the second. Are there any comments or questions? This? No? Okay, not saying any. I will go ahead and call for the vote. Student Member Lee?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then I am a yes. Member Espinosa?
Yes.
Member Lynn?
Yes.
Member Sneed?
Yes.
And Member Georgino?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The vote carries 5-0. We're now moving on to item 25, the first of the two related facility topic items tonight. And this one calls for a motion to approve facility use fee structure. And what's your pleasure? I'll go ahead and ask for the motion and then we'll just talk about it, okay? So I see a motion from Member Georgino and a second from Member Espinosa. And so are there comments and questions about this? No? Kim, do anything you want to talk to?
So just the two on the agenda for approval would just be the priority ranking and then the actual fee structure. So any discussion or questions that I can answer with regard to either one I would be happy to answer.
Donna, go ahead.
The only question I have is actually on the next one. The agenda says approve facility use categories of users, and the memo says priority ranking for applicants. Are those the same things?
It would be the priority ranking. The category of users are already approved. They're in the board policy. Like I said, if we would want to change the board policy for category of user, we could do that and go through the regular board policy process to do that. The way that we would prioritize those categorical users is really what we want to put into the administrative regulation so that we have a systematic process for prioritization and it's public so everyone knows what that prioritization is.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it. I'm wondering, because our agenda doesn't say that, it says something different.
Okay, so we could either motion to approve the priority of users, which is, so the category of users, it's the priority with which they will be addressed. So we could motion to approve the priority of users. You would have to remotion.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the priority ranking for applicants, but I'm not sure we can vote on it when the agenda doesn't say that. We'd be voting on something that isn't on the agenda.
I guess I'm confused. We're talking about item 25. No, I'm looking at item 25 in the agenda.
26.
Oh, whoops.
She asked if there were any questions on either of them.
Oh, okay.
So
now I get it.
I mean, if you want to stick to 25 right now, that's fine.
Let's take them in order. Okay, any other comments or questions for Kim? No, okay, I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Member Lynn?
Yes.
Member Sneed?
Yes.
Member Espinosa?
Yes.
I'm a yes, and Member Georgino?
Yes.
Okay, so that motion carries 5-0.
Nicole?
Oh, I did. Thank you. Sorry. Student Member Lee?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Okay, so now we are on to item 26. Well, I'll go ahead and call for the motion. And now, hold on. You raised the question. I want to see what the issue is. I didn't understand. Approved facility use categories of users. Approved facility use priority ranking. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the technical ruling would be, but I don't see the meaning. It's not exact, but it's, I think, inclusive.
Well, we could re-agendize if you'd prefer. That's fine too.
So it says on the agenda, approve facility use categories of users. It says on the agenda report, approve facility use priority ranking for applicants, which would be categories of users. Am I?
It's not. I think it's two separate things.
Is it, Kim?
So we can pull it just to make it very, very clear. Because I think in this case with the public and making sure that, you know, we are completely transparent with what we're trying to do and it's very clear, we can just re-agendize for the next meeting. The facility fee structure was just voted on, and the priority ranking can come on the next meeting without a problem.
Okay.
I'm sorry I didn't catch that earlier.
No, that's fine.
I just noticed it today.
Matt, do you need a motion to table this?
Yeah, I was just going to ask for that. So I need a motion and a second.
Table this.
Okay, so the motion from member Lynn, second from.
Well, we're really not tabling it.
Well, it's
Because
a
we're
term
gonna
that's
be voting
arguable. Donna, we're going to go ahead and set it aside and address it next meeting. Table's often used.
Okay.
I know you don't care for it, but that's pretty common.
No.
So I have a motion table from member Lynn. Do I see a second from member Espinosa? And so I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Member Espinosa?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Member Georgino?
No.
Member Sneed?
Yes.
And member Lynn?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion carries 4-1.
Nicole.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can see this. I have Nicole's name written on top of all your names and I just don't look at it. Anyway, okay, Nicole, student member Lee?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so again, the motion carries 4-1. With that, we are moving on to the category of business services, item 27, which calls for a motion to adopt resolution 2021-20, authorizing the opening of the Student Activity Special Reserve Fund. And so may I have a motion and a second on this item, please? Motion from member Georgino, and a second from member Lynn. Are there comments and questions about this? No, then I'm going to go to student member Lynn. Would you like a preferential vote?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then we are on to member Georgino,
Yes.
member Sneed,
Yes.
member Espinosa,
Yes.
member Lynn,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. So the motion carries 5-0. Thank you. We're now moving on to the area of educational services, item 28, which calls for a motion to approve new courses at Oak Avenue Intermediate. These are the courses that were presented to us at our last meeting involving Chinese culture, Mandarin, and journalism. I have a motion and a second to approve, please. Motion from member Espinosa, a second from member Georgino. Are there any comments or questions for these items? Seeing none, I will go ahead and call for the vote. Student member Lee?
Yes.
Thank you. I am a yes. Member Lynn?
Yes.
Member Sneed?
Yes.
Member Georgino?
Yes.
And member Espinosa?
Yes.
All right, thank you. That motion carries 5-0. We are now moving on to item 29, which calls for a motion to approve District Student Wellness Committee and request to survey Oak Avenue Intermediate students and whatnot. May I have a motion and a second to approve, please? Motion from member Sneed and a second from member Georgino. Are there any comments or questions about this? I don't see any, so I will go ahead and call for the vote. Student member Lee?
Yes.
Member Espinosa?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Member Lynn?
Yes.
Member Georgino?
Yes.
And member Sneed?
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries 5-0. Thank you. We are now moving on to the area of personnel services, item number 30, which calls for a motion to approve CIF multi-school agreement. And this is also something that's done fairly regularly. May I have a motion and a second to approve, please? Motion from member Lynn and a second from member Georgino. Any comments or questions for this item? Donna?
Could we just get a little overview for the people who are watching?
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
Absolutely. So this has come up because going into next year, we know not all of our students are returning. So we will be running a virtual academy, and we'll have more students on a virtual academy independent study. And so in order to allow those students, and as we grow our virtual academy to be able to have students be able to play with their high school sports team, you have to have this agreement turned into CIF. It does require league authorization, and our league has had controversy with this. So it is very possible that even if you do approve it, we won't be able to push it forward because the league is not going to agree to it. However, moving forward, we think that all schools are going to be in a very similar circumstance in that not all your students are coming back in the fall. So to be able to keep things equitable and keep people being able to participate in high school as much as possible, this might open up some doors for everybody. So this is just something we wanted to approach. It has to be in by May 31st. You can turn it in late. We're anticipating that we will turn it in late. And if we're able to get it approved, but we wanted to start with you first.
Very good. Any comments or questions, Donna?
Oh, no, I'm just, no,
Oh.
I'm just resting my elbow.
I just saw the hand go. All right. So with that,
Yeah, sorry.
we have the motion from member Lynn and a second from member Georgino, and I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. Student board member Lee.
Yes.
Thank you. Member Sneed,
Yes.
member Georgino,
Yes.
member Espinosa,
Yes.
member Lynn,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. So that motion carries 5-0. With that, we are on to our consent agenda, which is a routine items approved by one motion and one vote unless a member of the board or audience requests that any item be reviewed and voted upon separately. Does anybody have anything they want to vote on separately? I don't see any, so I'm going to go ahead and call for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion in a second. Motion from member Espinosa, second from member Lynn. And any comments or questions about any of these items? I have one, just if anybody knows. I went by the softball diamond a few weeks ago when there was a game going on, and I thought, where would we put porta potties? And I see that's on the agenda tonight. Where are those going? I was curious. Are they going behind home plate?
There's actually, it's like an enclosed brick area where they used to be in the past. And so they're going to go in that area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Okay. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. We'll go ahead and call for the vote. Student member Lee.
Yes.
Member Espinosa.
Yes.
Member Georgino.
Yes.
Member Lynn.
Yes.
Member Sneed.
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well, so that motion carries 5-0. With that, we're on to item 37. Any further comments from the board regarding items we've discussed or would like to discuss? I don't see any. Oh, Donna?
Are you doing 38?
37. I'm about ready to hop on to 38.
Oh,
Okay, so we're now on to item number 38, which is a list of future agenda items. We have down visual and performing arts and the governance handbook and protocols, which we have a pretty clean, rough draft that I'm going through and we're getting out shortly. But are there other topics that need to be brought up and discussed? Donna?
No, I was wondering if we could have a presentation by the graphics program. I don't know if it'd be possible to get the students who designed the tennis shoes to attend. They might be seniors, but if not, maybe the teacher and could tell us about what they're going to do with the money by our next meeting or meeting after that. They should know how much they're getting, and if the students could come, it would be really great to meet them, the ones that designed the tennis shoes.
That does sound like a great idea. Hopefully we have enough time to do it.
We'll try. We'll try.
All right. Any other suggested topics for discussion at future meetings?
If you'd like, I can reach out to those that designed the shoes and ask them and their teacher to come for the next meeting.
That would be fabulous. Thank you for stepping up and doing that. Very good. Okay, with that, I am going to go. I don't believe we received any further public comments. Marie?
No,
Okay,
no more
thank
public
you.
comments.
Okay, then with that, I'm going to go ahead and call for a motion and a second to adjourn. I have a motion and a second, please.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
A motion from member Lynn and a second. I hear somebody. Looks like member Georgino. And I will go ahead and call for the vote. Student member Lee?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm a yes. Member Espinosa?
Yes.
Member Georgino?
Yes.
Member Lynn?
Yes.
And member Sneed?
Yes.